Hello and welcome to the Arizona Wildcats show. I'm Michael Lev. This is Zack Rosenblatt. We're with the Arizona Daily Star. We're here at Arizona Stadium where the Wildcats defeated the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors 47-28 earlier tonight, or maybe it was last night. I think it might be after midnight,
I don't know what
Zach.
time it is anymore.
I'm sort of thrown off by your jacket. Anyway, a fun game for a lot of reasons. I think the main reasons were two guys, Brandon Dawkins and J.J. Taylor. Let's start with Brandon Dawkins. I thought he played a lot better than he did in the Grambling game from the get-go. Got off to a good start, got in a rhythm. But really the biggest difference I feel like between him and Anu Solomon is what he can do with his legs.
Oh yeah, I mean you saw it on, he scored what, 2 rushing touchdowns or three? Three. Yeah, he had 3 in all in the first half, I believe. Yeah, I mean you could just see he can run around defenders, and he broke a few tackles, and Rich Rod even said, he brings a different dynamic. And I think it's something they have to consider when they make their decision, if they're making a decision on who's going to play against Washington. I think, that just against a defense like Washington, who certainly has the bodies and the athleticism, I think that's something that'll be a good weapon to have at the very least if they make some packages for him if Anu starts.
Yeah, we don't know, obviously, what Anu's status is. He did not play tonight. He didn't dress tonight.
He sat
alone behind the bench for much of the evening.
Yeah,
it was sort of odd. But yeah, Brandon is a big and fast runner. I mean, he kind of looked like the biggest, fastest guy on the field at times tonight.
And he wasn't just running instead of, looking for the right option like he was the last couple of weeks,
And there was more designed running plays. I felt like it was a lot more read option, which, read option is just much more effective when the quarterback is a legitimate running threat. Now, coming into the game, Zach, we thought that Nick Wilson would get the bulk of the carries. That did not turn out to be the case because Nick Wilson got hurt in the first quarter on the first series. Already thin position. J.J. Taylor comes in, and my goodness, all the hype, all the things we heard about in training camp, it was all true. He looked great.
Oh, and the thing everybody talked about was his footwork. You saw there was one play where it was like straight out of the Madden game. He did a spin move, and there was another. He juked a guy, and the guy fell. And then he had that 60-yard touchdown run that was just phenomenal. And he looks like he's not gonna be a player. He is a player right now.
He is a player right now.
He's 5'6".
I know, he's 5'6". He's 170 pounds. When he's standing next to Brandon Dawkins, he looks like he could be like his nephew or something. But as Rich Rod said after the game, he's not short. He's not small. He's just short.
Yeah.
He's got good strength. He's got good toughness. Tremendous moves. The spin move, the juke. Guys were just falling down, flailing, trying to tackle him. So very promising start for J.J. Taylor.
And Rich said Rich said he doesn't know when Nick's going to be back. So who knows what that means. And Nick Wilson has an injury history, so we knew that J.J. Taylor was going to get playing time this year, but he might get a lot more than he anticipated.
It's true, and that's a problem. They are really thin. They were thin coming into tonight at running back because of the Orlando Bradford situation. They're thinner now. Last thing I think we want to talk about tonight is the defense. Played pretty well in the first half, and then the second half, the overall intensity in the building wasn't really there. I didn't think it was there for them. They had a lot of penalties, a lot of injuries.
Rich Rod wasn't happy.
He wasn't happy at all.
He called it awful.
Yeah, he called it awful. He was especially upset about the penalties. A couple of freshmen involved in those plays. They have to play a lot better if they're going to beat someone like Washington, right?
Well, yeah. The defense, before the season, the defense was the big question mark. The offense became a question mark because it was a little inconsistent the first couple of weeks. But yeah, the defense has shown flashes of they have some playmakers. I think Demetrius Flanagan-Foles he's got a pick in every game, I think. And, he's around the ball all the time. And Tristan Cooper showed that he's going to be a really good player. He made some mental errors, but, and I think Tellis Jones dressed, so I would think he would be back next week, which will be huge. But yeah, they have a lot of holes on that defense, and, Hawaii was able to exploit them in the second half. I don't know if it was an effort thing or what, but yeah, I think there's definitely some question marks there.
It might have been a concentration thing. It might have been an effort thing. It could have just been human nature when you have such a big lead. Yeah. But it's sort of a good thing in a way, too, because the coaches can harp on that all week.
To, yeah.
Yes. You always like to have some kind of bad things happen during a victory so that you can make sure that the guys stay sharp, they don't get complacent, which I don't think is going to be an issue at all with the number 8 team or maybe even higher coming in next week, and a team that beat Arizona 49-3 last season.
Might have been the worst loss Rich Rod's had since he's been here, honestly.
So they'll be very motivated. They'll be ready to play no matter which guys are healthy. Anyway, that's our show. This is Zack Rosenblatt. I'm Michael Lev. You can check out our work on Tucson.com. Thanks for watching.